Hi, this is Nick from Hogan's Alley Products. Today we're going to talk about the scuba fill station. The scuba fill station is inexpensive, easy to use, and great for when you want to fill your own paintball tanks at home so that you take less trips back and forth to the paintball store. Now, a couple of features on our scuba fill station is the yoke knob, which tightens it onto the scuba tank, the bleeder valve, which lets the excess gas out, the quick disconnect, which is how you take the tank on and off, and the gauge, so you know how much gas is going into your tank. It's a quick, simple operation that we're going to go through, and at the end I'm going to go over some troubleshooting tips. And even if you don't have a Hogan's Alley scuba fill station, most of the scuba fill stations are universal, and the troubleshooting tips might help you out. So first thing first is the scuba fill station yoke goes onto the scuba tank, and then just make sure that you tighten the knob nice and tight on like that. Now we'll go through fill station operation. Alright, now we're going to talk about fill station operation. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your yoke knob is nice and tight and that your bleed knob is nice and tight. Then pull back on the collar, attach the tank, make sure that it snaps, and then keep the tank supported with one hand. With the other hand, open up the scuba fill valve until you hear the sound of the air rush in, like that. When the gauge on the scuba fill station reads the same as the gauge on the tank, then close the scuba valve, open the bleed valve, and let the gas out. When the gauge reads back down to 0, make sure you close the bleed valve back down all the way, pull back on the collar, disconnect your tank. The gauge on the tank will read the same as what the gauge originally read on the scuba. Now, it's important to note here that you can only fill your small tank to the same pressure that you had in the big tank. So when you start off with a 3,000 psi tank, the first fill you'll probably end up with anywhere between 2,900 and 3,000 psi, and then every subsequent fill after that you'll have less and less pressure, until on your last fill you'll probably only have 1,500 psi going into the tank, which should be enough to get you through, a short game or so. Then you know it's time to bring it in and get your scuba tank refilled. Now that we've gone over fill station operation, I want to talk to you about the sizes of the tanks and how many fills that you can get. This is an 80 cubic foot scuba tank, and you can get about 6 good fills out of this into this 48 cubic inch 3,000 psi tank. Now, if you're using a smaller tank than the 48 cubic inch, you'll get more fills, and if you're using a bigger tank, you'll get less fills. But we'll put more information in the comments section about how many fills you can get out of what size tank. Now let's go over some troubleshooting. So if you have a leak from around here or here, that's the O-ring that's on the scuba tank. Replacement O-rings can be found at any scuba shop, or of course, shop.hogansalleypaintball.com. You just go in here with a pick, pop the O-ring out, and then a new O-ring will press in. A great way to press in the new O-ring is to use the scuba yoke and tighten down the nut. That really seats the O-ring in there. Now, the next place that you could find a leak is out of the little bleeder hole down on the bottom. The most common thing if you have a leak out of the bleeder hole is you didn't tighten down the nut all the way. But if you did tighten down the nut all the way and it's still leaking out of the bottom of the bleeder hole, chances are that you have some debris on the base of this nylon seal. So check the nylon seal, clean it, and if for some reason the nylon seal looks damaged or isn't flat anymore, chances are you need a new fill knob. Again, we sell replacements of these at shop.hogansalleypaintball.com. Lastly, the quick disconnect. Now, there's an O-ring inside the quick disconnect that seals when you put the tank on. If it's leaking from anywhere around here, it's the O-ring that's inside the quick disconnect. Again, quick disconnect O-ring fittings can be found on our website. Thanks for watching our video. I hope that you enjoyed the video and you'll consider buying the Hogan's Alley Products Scuba Fill Station. The Scuba Fill Stations and both new and used scuba tanks are both available from our store and online at shop.hogansalleypaintball.com. The scuba fill stations are a lot less expensive to ship, so if you can source a scuba tank locally, that might work better for you if you don't live anywhere near the store. Again, we hope you liked the video and that you subscribe to our channel. Thank you.